Coming up today, we're tackling protein timing myths, exploring the hidden side effect your doctor's keeping quiet, and finding out how someone turned clown school antics. Yeah, I was a clown in school. Yeah, Jimmy, I was a this might be an R-rated show. I wasn't supposed to drop that in the opening seconds. YouTube doesn't like that. Good morning, everybody. Mornings in the lab, Jimmy. It starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirrely.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
To be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good?
Hey, good morning. You guys know this is an R-rated experience. I dropped the F-bomb in the hook, Jimmy. YouTube might go, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I don't know. It's Monday. It's the Monday of the Memorial Day long weekend for all my friends joining me from the United States of America. I'm not. I'm joining you from the United States of Canada. Yeah, the apparent 57th, 8th state. Good morning. Welcome back to another Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. You got the loop. We get after it every single day here, 8 o'clock Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Substack. What's going on, all my friends in Substack? Hey, guys, you curious about the truths about male orgasms? We might just talk about that this morning on the show. We also got 7 shocking facts you didn't see coming. Also, ever wondered if your workout routine is secretly prepping you for a decathlon? Jimmy, you want to run a decathlon? Let's get after it, brother. Get ready, guys. Your training habits might surprise you along the way. Later, Paul Miller takes center stage in our morning focus to reveal how he transformed from clown. Actually, clown college graduate. Oh, I thought it said clown. Jimmy, I thought he was fucking clown, man. Dude, I thought we had a clown on the show. We don't got to shout. What? Fuck. I thought there was a clown on the show. Oh, there is. He's the host. Yeah, that's me. I'm Keith Billis. I'm the fucking clown who hosts the show, guys, every single day here, 8 o'clock. Oh, did I say it's an R-rated experience? Did I tell you guys that we might drop some F-bombs? Jimmy, 3 minutes in, I've already dropped it twice. I think I'm in the mood here today. Listen, it's a journey you guys are going to want to hear with Paul Miller joining us later today. From clown college graduate to influential community catalyst. Trust us, big show coming up. Deep dive into building meaningful local connections that truly matter also on the show. Plus, don't miss an eye-opening conversation. Yeah, I found a young lady who banged 563 guys in 6 hours. Yeah, true story, but she's not on the show today. No, we didn't have space inside the bedroom for her today. No, because there's 565 other guys just outside the door. Yeah, oh, exactly. We're also going to unpack some powerful strategies. Yep, powerful strategies to rebuild confidence after a major setback. I had one. I'm living it out in front of you guys every single day here. And a shift from burnout to beast mode with insights from a high-performance coach. We got Tom Hudson joining us in the lab as well. And then, hey, Warren DeVarnis is coming up in the community corner. So, guys, I invite you to skip the snooze button. Find yourself 9 minutes behind somebody who does. Let's get after it, Jimmy. We're here, the morning accountability partner. Mornings in the lab with Keith and friends. My buddy John's hanging out. I can see it's Jimmy, it looks like it's Tank Top Monday. Jimmy, let's bring in Johnny and see what's shaking in the lab here today, pal. What's going on, brother? From another. Oh, Johnny, you're glistening this morning, man.
Yeah, I just got done.
I don't have any audio.
No audio.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Just quick. No. You're good. You're good. We just had a quick
second. My camera looks really fuzzy. Is that? Did I like accidentally put my finger on the camera? So there's some. Do I look fuzzy to you too?
I think your camera is sweating this morning, Johnny, just like your body is sweating. I think you may have touched your camera lens with your sweaty finger. And
I may have. Well, when you do your accountability check, and I'll wipe it off.
Yeah. You know what we're gonna do, pal? I'm gonna invite you to take a quick second to step back. You and I have about a half a second delay on your audio there, so maybe just jump out, jump back in. Yeah, jump out, jump back in. You get after it. All right. Jimmy, so we got Sweaty John this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Good morning, Lady Drew Boger. I see you there in the comments as well. And Jimmy, we got Adam Holroyd, who officially became a member of YouTube today and a member of, I think he's a member of, I don't know, the Mornings in the Lab community, because I popped up in the show here today and I saw this like green banner show up on my screen and I see Adam Holroyd there. For those of you who don't know, Adam Holroyd is one of our founding community members of the lab here every single day. What a weekend, man. Jimmy, what a weekend. Dude, I got a bunch of stuff done outside in the garage. Yes, I am Canadian. Garage. Yes, garage. It's funny. All my friends like, garage? No, it's garage, man. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Clean the garage up, clean the floor up, scrub the floor, went for a bike ride with my wife. May have Jimmy, I might be living longer too. Lauren might be living longer too, actually. Just a little bit of life expectancy work over the weekend. Everybody's living longer this weekend because we know that if we're all, taking care of our health and taking care of our sexual productivity, we're all going to live a little bit longer here today. Big week coming up in the lab. We got Tom Hudson, Paul Hallinan Miller on the show here today. Warren DeVarnis coming up in the second hour on the show here today. And I guess, of course, we are going to talk about losing confidence and rebuilding confidence. And Jimmy, telling you, man, I've been doing it in front of everybody here on the show here for the last year or so and a half. When I came back to the world after selling my social media business and coming back to the world and being relatively lost. Yeah. So I was Jimmy, I was like the fucking littlest hobo. Do my American friends, you guys know, I think Paul the Clown Miller knows the littlest hobo. I gotta think he does. It's the Canadian dog. It's the German Shepherd who wandered aimlessly around Canada because he had nowhere to fucking go. It's just yeah, little hobo. That was me. I got out of my job. The ICUC thing ended, and I became the littlest hobo for the longest time. And then my confidence went sideways. So we're going to talk about how I rebuilt my confidence after a major setback. What's shaking, Roofy? I see you in the comments this morning, brother. Happy Memorial Day. We got Keith and Sweaty John this morning in the lab. Johnny crushed his he crushed his lift here this morning. I got my run in this morning, got my lift in, and Jimmy, I timed my red sweaty face out, so I didn't bring it into the lab this morning. I changed the timing of my lift today so that we can have only one sweaty face guy. Oh my God, Johnny, you look like you're 10 years younger now.
Dude, I must have like bumped my sweaty form against the camera when I was sitting down or something. Yeah, we're playing pickleball this morning. And so, what's that?
Like this morning already?
No, we're going to.
Oh, I thought you said you played this morning.
No. We play on days when I don't lift. Yeah, we play on days when I don't lift weights. But I need that. Pickleball is fun. It gets me breathing, but I need that feeling like I'm getting my ass kicked. So I had to go into a fucking burpee frenzy to get myself feeling like I needed to. And it took me a little longer to get there this morning. I was like, fuck, man, you slept too good last night because you're having to go, when you feel real good, you got to go deeper to get that feeling.
That's right.
I was telling my brain, would you hurry up and give me the fucking drugs I'm looking for here? Jesus Christ.
It's funny you say that. I'm drinking the same Kool-Aid as you this morning. I got my run in, got my lift in. It's Monday, and the thing that I dislike to do, which is my run. So I got my run in, and I wasn't feeling the dopamine wasn't flying yet. So I had to end it with like a finisher just so I can get that spike. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's like, okay. And it's like, I've done all this work and I haven't hit it yet. And I'm like, I got to get the dopamine hit. And I did it. I was like, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Crazy how it feels, eh?
Oh, brother. So good. Dude, I got to tell you, last night, I had the best grilled octopus I think I've ever had.
Oh, do tell me.
It was good.
Do tell me.
I don't know what it was. It was they catch these things like fresh and pull them out. The restaurant we go to is like, we're sitting there, we're looking literally at the Sea of Cortez. It's part of their deal. They pull it out that morning. I don't know what it was. Just maybe I was extra hungry. They grill it with some sort of a garlic sauce. Yeah, dude, it was just, the texture was just so amazing, because it's the thing that's cool about octopus. If you never eaten it, the tentacles out towards the end, they're pretty chewy. Yes. But as you get into towards the body, if you will, it gets a little softer, but sometimes it gets a little too soft in there. Like that, that feels a little like a decomposed piece of meat in my mouth. You know? Yes. Yeah.
Remember when we were talking ceviche a couple weeks back, dude, when I was crushing some ceviche out there in the Galapagos. Oh man, some of the octopus in that ceviche was just unbelievable. Speaking of octopus, pussy, Did you how did your fishing for triggerfish go on Friday?
Fuck, I caught one. But it was just so this is the joke. The guy that took me, he goes, listen, he goes, when someone asks you to catch a fish, he goes, you tell them here, I better get myself on the bigger screen so you can see it. He says, you tell them it was this big. Can you see my hands? Both of them?
Yes.
Because it was this big.
Yeah, because it was your left finger. That's how big it was, eh?
Yeah, no, it was a pretty cool looking fish, but we started just a little bit late. He goes, if we were an hour early, we'd have been good. And then they went the next day because we were just there for the day, and they pulled a couple of big boys out of there. But either way, part of the fun is that you're eating this really tasty fish. So they had some they caught the day before, so we grilled it up. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But standing out, I got some footage of it. But standing out at the beach in a pair of board shorts, fishing was pretty. You're just standing like at your knees, and you're passing out and just reeling in and chilling. Only thing I was missing, I was really bummed. I forgot my cigar.
I was just going to say, were you?
I was like, I got there and I was like, you dumb son of a bitch. What were you thinking? Well, because we were Terry always tends to run a little late. And we were trying to get there by a certain time, so the fish were biting. And of course, because we're late, I got distracted. Not her fault, my fault completely. But God,
we had this conversation. Remember about our wives being late?
Yeah, well, it's somehow, some way, I spaced my cigars.
Were you on the beach just waiting, and she's like, "Okay, I'm coming."
No, we're in the house we're leaving our house trying to get to the place where we were going. That's where she was late. Fuck, if I would have just gone to the beach and started fucking fishing. I mean, where we were fishing, dude, my buddy's house, you just walk fucking 50 yards to the water.
Oh yeah.
So it was get to his house where we were running late.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I spent a weekend just doing stuff around the yard. I cleaned the garage up, I cleaned my yard up. I got a bunch of work done, got some lifts in, got some rides in.
That feels good though, doesn't it?
Oh, Johnny, man, my garage, I got a pretty nice garage. It's finished. It's got floor done, wall. It's walk into the garage like you're walking into a room, and it turned into kind of like a dump last little while. And I live in the winter here, right? So winters get dirty and gross. So I spent the weekend cleaning, and man, for those that are tuning in right now, the feeling that you have when you can look back and see what you accomplished, man, it's just it's a wonderful feeling. I had to walk out in the garage this morning just to look at it, John. I was like, okay, well, I gotta go.
I'm with you. That's a good feeling. But then you walk in someone's garage, and it just looks like a fucking place where they put shit where they're just too fucking lazy to put it away. Like, motherfucker. Yeah, just that thing that's on the table, it belongs 1 foot above in the fucking cabinet. Put the shit away as you go. And it's like a garage is not just a fucking. It's some people a garage is like a storage room that they're just too lazy to put shit away. To me, that's just like it makes my brain go bananas.
I hear you. Well, and admittedly, maybe mine was turning that way for a little while. I would say to you that, I was a dumb son of a bitch there for a while, just putting shit all over the place on the counters, just leaving stuff. And you just go through those moments in life where I kind of looked at myself, going, what the fuck are you doing, man? Come on, smarten up. It's that smart. It's those conversations we as men have in our journey through life, and they happen. And you catch yourself. You're like, what are you doing? This is no different than standing in front of the fridge or the pantry. These certain things, you're like, what are you doing, man?
And this is so good, brother, because the idea of putting something on the counter versus putting something maybe 2 feet away. Yeah. It's just that you're setting, it's a train of thought. Yes. That you're carrying into other parts of your life versus I'll put this away, feels good. I'm going to keep the rest of my life tidy too. It all starts with that one little thing that you're doing that spreads like a cancer.
It's actually, it's frankly, good morning, Holroyd. I see you there. Thanks for joining the show this morning. Johnny, I'll call it what it was. It's fucking lazy. And I found myself getting lazy with shit, right? It's no different than we talk about standing in front of the pantry like a stupid fat son of a bitch, or in front of the fridge like, what am I doing? Oh, I'm making a bad decision right now. It's time to leave and go to bed, right? And I could tell you, man, I had a few of those this weekend. I was in the garage.
Just the dumbest little things. Like I can't remember what it was. I was walking from the house over to the guest house, and there was something in the driveway that needed to be picked up and thrown away. Yeah. And I picked it up and I threw it away, and I was like, God, that feels so good. Had I not done that, that would have fucking set deep in the back of my mind and started to erode. It's almost like a turd that starts to fucking stink even worse because you didn't fucking throw it away.
So I'm so neurotic like you, and I mean that as a compliment, that now that I've done a few things, I'm like, okay, so now what can I do more? It's like when I do a habit stack, I'm like, okay, so how can I tweak my habit stack to add just a little more of it? I'm always trying to squeeze more out of it. You know what I mean?
And that's the beautiful thing is you can set your brain in motion where this is the way it goes, or you set it in motion in the wrong way where you're always looking for the way out.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. So I'm pretty pleased coming into this morning. Good sleep, productive weekend, a lot of wonderful time connecting with my wife this weekend. So a lot of great relationship time, as you may have heard during my opener. Some life expectancy works. We're all going to live a little longer, man. I'm telling you, just an overall good weekend. Lauren crushed some great organic beef, smash burgers. We just ate well, trained well, lived well, and life was good here as we kicked off this Memorial Day weekend. Johnny, we got a bunch of guests hanging out. We got Tom Hudson waiting for us.
Hold on, before we leave, we gotta do some betting here.
Yeah.
I think Paul. Yes. Paul, I'm gonna bet on Paul. Paul's making it in without any problems.
Dude,
I'm betting on you, brother. Don't let me down.
Yeah, we got Tom Hudson joining us next. We got Tom Hudson joining us next. I don't know about Tommy because Tom might have had some problems earlier, but Paul.
I was gonna say I don't see anybody else. So Paul's the only one I could bet on because the other Jim. Where's the other one?
Paul's been on the ball, man. Paul was emailing me last night on clips. He's emailing me pictures. And he was in the
2 for 2, baby. I'm 2 for 2. If he makes it on, I'm 2 for 2.
Dude, the guy's just fucking waiting for us, just rocking and rolling here, which is awesome. All right, let's do the accountability check in, and we're gonna bring Tom Hudson in a couple of moments. Jimmy, let's get after it. Real confidence is saying fuck it to expectations. That's accountability checking, Jimmy. I'll see you guys later. All right, listen, real confidence is saying fuck it to expectations. Jimmy, how many times did I drop the F-bomb this morning? It might be a record on a Monday morning, I'm telling you. It's saying I won't force myself into this box. Nope. It's betting on yourself because, frankly, it's your life, and you only get one. Yep, one life, just one life. That's true story. Unless you're like an AI-generated guy we talked about last week who died, and his family brought him back to life, and then he had a second life. And hold on a second, that's a whole different part of the conversation, right? Listen. Oh yeah, real confidence is saying fuck it. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I won't force myself into. Jimmy, I'm just fucking with this segment right now, man. I'm just completely lost. Jimmy, I don't know what the hell I'm getting after right now, but I'm telling you, I'm lost on this segment because if your confidence is messed up, it's your life and you're only going to get one. It doesn't make you ungrateful. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. But guys, most men, in my experience, that they stay stuck because they're waiting for someone to say, it's okay. And I know you. You know yourself. You know that guy. You're hanging out with him and you're kind of feeling okay. And the guy next to you says, it's okay. It's all right. You're just fine. And he supports your mediocrity. And he supports your not getting afterness. He supports your snoozing. Really? You want more? You want to change direction? You want to admit that something's off? But you don't need permission to make your life your own. You don't need approval to outgrow what no longer fits. What you need is the guts to walk away from the script or that guy over there who's holding you back that you never wrote in the first place. The job, the title, the version of everyone they shaped for you. That version that your parents said, oh, you're going to be a doctor. None of it matters if you're building someone else's dream. So if you're sitting back in a job you hate, if you're sitting back rushing towards a vacation that you desire because you're working at a job you hate, I invite you to ask yourself, are you chasing alignments or are you chasing applause? I know many of you would just chase applause. Are you building a life? Or are you filling a life of just roles of everybody else's? And if you already know the answers to these questions, well, guys, what the hell are you waiting for? Someday? Jimmy, a lot of guys wait for someday. They look at the calendar and go, where the fuck is someday? I think it's between Wednesday and Thursday. No, that's called one day. Guys, get up, get after it. Don't hit the snooze button. Who do we got in the comments? We got Read and Write with Natasha Podcast. Hello, Read and Write with Natasha Podcast. Good morning. This is Keith Billis, John Anderson, Mornings and Live with Keith and friends, getting it after it every single day here, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We got our first guest coming up here. What do you do? What do you get when you get a high-flying exec who meets a blood test, a stool sample, and a former gym rat turned health philosopher? You get Tom Hudson, the guy helping ambitious professionals transform from stressed-out zombies to high-performance machines without giving up their career and coffee. Tom is the founder of Zenith Health and the architect behind the Evolve program, a science-backed, soul-driven system helping burned-out professionals get their vitality back with over 16 years of experience in functional health. Tom's mission is clear. Success shouldn't come at the cost to your body, your mind. And while he may geek out on blood panels and hormone reports, he's also the kind of guy who admits he's far from perfect. Guys, this morning, Mornings in the Lab is pleased to welcome and introduce you all to our new friend to the show here this morning, Tom Hudson.
How you doing,
What's
guys?
up, Tom?
Awesome, thank you, Keith. How are you?
What's going on, brother? I'm good. How are you, man? You got your audio sorted out, brother.
Oh yeah, caused me some serious tech headaches backstage, but managed to pull it all together, keep a cool head. And now
I was watching you stress out behind the scenes. I was watching you kind of go, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to figure it out there. You got to figure it out, eh?
Yeah, you have got to. You got no choice, have you? Sink or swim. That's what we're all about.
This is right. This is right. Marty meet Tom. Tom meet Marty.
What's up, Tom? How you doing? I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Very well.
Johnny meet Tom. Tom made it into the lab this morning, and Paul's patiently waiting.
Yeah, I didn't see Tommy in the green room, so I was unable to bet on him.
Yeah, he was trying to figure shit out, Johnny. He was still trying to figure shit out. He was scrambling at the seconds up till his appearance, trying to figure shit out.
Maybe I got lucky because I might have sensed that and bet against him, and he would have whooped me. So great job, brother.
I appreciate it. I was enjoying your guys' chit chat. I was saying for half of it, Keith was muted for me, and I could just hear John. So reading Keith, like, I've got to sort this out very quickly.
Oh, there you go. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about the Evolve program. What is it? How is it different from all the other health solutions out there? And I think I know the answer. Boys, Marty, Johnny, I think the answer to this is all the posters over Tom's head.
Yeah, so I'm a real fascinated by anatomy and physiology.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, it's everywhere around me in my room. And basically for me, I sort of learned from my own mistakes. I chased something that was unattainable. You know, like most men, I'm very passionate about talking about the body dysmorphia audience that we have, and the feel pressure for men to look and show up a certain way, especially from social media. Yeah. And now that I'm sort of realized that while I was chasing unobtainable perfection, because I very much realized that perfection is like, we can't agree on what perfection is. So does it really exist?
Hold on. Buddy, you're fucking looking at perfection right here.
Yeah, hey, good man.
You got three guys of perfection here. You got glistening John over there. You got sparkling Marty, and you got
only two. John's not perfect. Me and Keith are perfect.
Perfection is called a work in progress. That's perfection.
Get him, Johnny.
No, but I'm saying that's the truth. I totally agree, brother. There's no perfection's fucking. It's procrastination camouflaged.
Yeah, 100%.
So absolutely. Perfection is when you're making if you're moving forward in a positive regard consistently. That's perfect. Keep going.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like you guys here, this is something that's very special, right? So you guys have got a very clear-knit brotherhood here. And this is what us as men, we thrive on.
Yes.
You know, we thrive on having this, masculine energy, which is trying to be suppressed, unfortunately, quite predominantly in the mainstream world. But this is something that us men cling to. We want our friends, we want to be chatting shit, to put it politely. You know, we want to be having these fun conversations. I think that's one thing that, for me, where I learned with like the health space, is what men need a supportive environment around them. You know, embrace your masculine energy, embrace the fact that how you like having a six-pack is, it was deemed like in my day and age back at school as the be all and end all, but looking good and performing good, I think, are worlds apart for me personally.
Well, you need them both. You need them both. One without that doesn't mean shit. Anybody can suffer to have a look, but ain't gonna stay. You know, and the thing about it, what people understand is the way looking good is really nothing more than a fucking positive side effect of feeling good and being healthy.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. 100%. And that is, for me, I think, you know, you can chase aesthetics, as you say, till the cows come home, and you can look great. You can be stage ready. You can look great on stage. I know a lot of guys that have bodybuilt and they've felt like they're worse in their life when they're on stage, ironically, even though they look.
Oh, brother, I competed. I was an open pro. I mean, that's those moments that you're up there, you're the weakest, you're the crankiest. I mean, all you're doing is you're sacrificing everything, including your quality of life for a fucking, a day, because you sometimes 2, because you might have a 2-day show, but it's purely just for a look.
Yeah. But the thing is, what I love the fact that you're very honest about that, because it's like a bit of a taboo to people that look from the outside and they see great physiques online. They see the way people look and they strive for it because they think, oh, this is what it's all about. But there's like you say, there's like behind that curtain, there's so much more deep and nuance to it, and what you have to sacrifice to get to the way you look. So it was
on that level, brother, there's we're talking about stage, right? But if you live your life properly and you scale basically back into positive habits and the daily rituals that promote you to be a certain way, you can look fucking awesome. I call it look fucking killer on the beach, but you're full of energy, you're healthy. It's very different than the stage. The guy that looks great on the beach, he goes up in those lights on the stage, he'll get his ass whooped. But the guy on the beach is not trying to be on the stage. The guy that's on the stage, he's taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Tom, what's working in the health and fitness industry, we talk about this all the time on the show, and I know that there's a few things that drive Johnny nuts and drive Marty nuts. I'm curious from your point of view, what's one myth about health or fitness that drives you absolutely crazy?
Where do we start, I think especially, it's not so much men, but I see so many just bad advice workout programs, and a big one is spot reducing fat, like how to get a 6-pack with this ab routine. And you sit there and you're like, it's just fucking bullshit, because the thing is, the best everyone knows abs are, we can build them in the gym, but they get shown by the kitchen. And the nutritional aspect of, regardless of how much you train your abs, if your body fat's over a certain percentage, you're not going to have visible abs. It's
on that level, brother, I just want to jump in and agree with you. Everybody on the fucking planet's got abs. Mm-hmm. They're just fucking hidden under that fucking layer of belly fat. Yeah. So, for the most part, if someone never worked their abs and they got lean, they would have amazing looking abs.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not like you have to work them to create them. It's like, fuck, everybody's born with a fucking bicep. Yeah. Everybody's born with 2 pecs. Well, you're born with 6 fucking abs. You're just too fucking fat to see it.
Yeah. Simply put, absolutely. That's the key thing here. And like you say, you guys will be well aware of it when you see these like rage bait or clickbait things on social media, which are controversial. They're a lie. That it's absolute nonsense, but everyone knows that controversy gets attention, or if it's shocking or against the truth, it gets attention and gets views. So someone with really bad advice can go very viral in a very short amount of time, because basically they're just talking out their arse.
What's interesting, Tom, is that we're working hard at changing that paradigm here on the show, because our show is actually based on just boring loops that just the same thing happens every single day, right? So we're finding successes. It's just perpetuating just boring habits. Get up, go to sleep, eat whole nutritious food, do it again the next day.
Well, here's an interesting thought too. What you said is totally correct, brother, is that going viral, for someone that doesn't fucking get it, someone that's, that's just working with clickbait, that's important to them. Yeah. Someone who's actually fucking really helping people and building a solid business, going viral would just be kind of, oh, that's fucking cool. It's not some big piece of the equation. So you could fucking smell these people a mile away.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like for me, yes, Keith.
You one of the things that drew me to you and your content you posted online, and one of the reasons I wanted to invite you on the show was you have openly shared, your own health struggles. Yeah. And it's something we're very proud of here on the show, is creating a safe space for men like yourself. I talk about my journey, Johnny talks about his, and Marty talks about his, and our guests often talk about their struggles, their journey, with vulnerability being the key to that equation.
Yeah.
Why is that vulnerability important to you, and why is it important in this space?
As men, we're taught to be strong, fearless, the role models of our households eventually down the line, which we learn from I learned from my granddad and my dad. And for me personally, I know that there's people out there struggling with exactly what I faced. That's the reason. And it's not about showing weakness. It's about showing people I'm human. I am not perfect. I've had challenges. And them challenges are actually what make my story more interesting. And I need to share those stories with other people that may not feel confident enough to share their own struggle, or see that other people are able to be forward, come in and show that nobody is like I keep saying this word, perfect. Nobody is. We're all human. We've all got scars, and the scars sometimes bring us the best amount of wisdom, because it's not about you failing. It's about lessons of life.
Brother, forget that sometimes those scars are the fucking, those are the jewels, you know?
Yeah. And that's it. That's why I want to share about, my challenge with body dysmorphia. I had an eating disorder, all through, like I say, chasing a certain way to look, or seeing myself as insignificant and not good enough, comparing myself to other people. And from that, regardless of how hard I chased it, I wasn't getting any happier from it. I just wasn't. So the paradigm had to shift as to, okay, if this aesthetic goal isn't making me happy, maybe I need to shift it. And when I got into like martial arts through my training, I got into boxing, mixed martial arts, I competed. It made me come alive, because I realized how much more focusing on a performance-based goal and how I felt mattered so much more than just what I saw in the mirror. And that was like a real light bulb moment for me. And it's what stirred this passion and my real infatuation of wanting to learn more about the deeper layers of health and be able to help people that are struggling, or they've just had answers or troubles that they haven't had answers to. And they feel let down. So
today's guest, Thomas Hudson, founder of Zenith Health and the architect behind the Evolve program, a science-backed, soul-driven system helping burned-out professionals get their vitality back. Hey, Tom, can you hang out for a few more minutes with us? We got a fit tip with Marty. I'd love to come back and continue the conversation for a few minutes. Can we do that?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Awesome. So we're going to, Jimmy, we're going to throw Marty on the stage, do a little fit tip. We'll come back with Marty, Tom, and Johnny and keep the conversation going, guys. Let's get after it.
Come on, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it. I also wanted to just add something on that last topic before I get into the fitness tip. I see so many bodybuilders after their competition, they just completely let it go. They completely fall off. But that's, another topic for another day. But anyway, fitness tip for today. So here in America, I don't know what the UK and Canada has, but we have Memorial Day weekend here. But a lot of people are off of work today, and they probably had too much fun over the weekend, or, find themselves relaxing a lot, getting lazy. So just 3 quick fitness tips to get back on track. First one, get back on your water intake. All right, you got to hydrate. A lot of people, like I said, they're probably not on their same routine today. Maybe they work out every Monday. Some people probably took Monday off, or the gym might be a zoo later than it usually is. A lot of people just thrown off. So get back on your water intake. Okay. Protein. A lot of times we're eating snacks. We're having fun with the family and friends. There were some cookouts this weekend. There were a couple of get-togethers and events. Pretty sure you weren't focused on your protein intake, which makes sense, right? So get back on that. And number 3, the most obvious one, get your ass back in the gym. All right, get in there today, right? If you can't get in there today because you got family stuff going on, just get back tomorrow, make up for it, make up for the day that you missed today. All right, so 3 things: get your water intake back, protein focus, and get your ass back in the gym. That's the fitness tip for today.
Ass back in the gym on the Monday of the Memorial Day weekend. Tips from Marty.
Yes, sir, man. Keith, we got to stay on track, man.
Got to stay on track, especially with January around the corner, Mr. Marty.
Is it Memorial Day in Canada or in the UK?
That was last weekend. We had our Victoria Day weekend last weekend. And I think actually, Hudson, you guys celebrated Victoria Day last weekend too, didn't you? Tom.
Say again, mate.
I think you guys celebrated Victoria Day last weekend.
Yes. I think it was not this weekend, gone the weekend before. We have VE weekend, which is the memorial for obviously the
That's right. Yeah. Because Marty, we are like conjoined cousins here with the Commonwealth of the UK and Canada. Like we're like one and the same. And there's some dude coming over to our country here this week. What's his name again? Oh yeah, that King Charles guy. Yeah, that guy's coming to our country and hanging out with us.
Canada this week?
Yeah, he's going to come to Canada, hang out for 24 hours, open up Parliament, and leave again because, we have such a wonderful democracy in our country. That's a different show. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty, and our guest, Tom Hudson. We got Paul Helen and Miller, the clown colleague, hanging out, waiting for us in the green room. We're going to bring him up here in a little bit here. Hey, Tom, if someone listening right now, and I wanted to segue off what Marty was saying, if someone listening is burned out and they're like, they had a tough weekend, they're burned out, maybe they're skeptical, they're just, I don't know, they're thinking about starting one day, maybe someday, those imaginary days in the calendar. Tom, what are you saying to somebody right now? Where and when should they start?
Okay, there's a very good Chinese proverb that stayed with me the first time I heard it, and everyone needs to hear it. So the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yes.
I like
as simple as it gets. As simple as it gets. Today's the best day because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. We don't know what tomorrow holds. So start today.
I love that. That's a really a good piece of advice. Hey, Tom,
well, that idea that you're going to start tomorrow or later, that's a state of mind that's going to fucking keep you stuck for the rest of your life. It's not just one. It's a repetitive behavior pattern, and it has to be recognized and stopped.
Yeah, 100%. And then adding on to it, when people say, what should you do it for? What's your purpose? You guys will be familiar with Jim Rohn, the fantastic speaker. In one of his seminars, when he said he found out that if I take care of me and you take care of you, how flawed that logic was. And he said, I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me. And I think that's incredibly important, that you should always put your health, your wellness, make it a priority, because you never know when you need to call on it to help yourself and help those you care about.
Yeah. We got Matthew Roof joining us. Roofy, what's shaking, brother? Getting real with yourself is the starting line of progress and growth. And we got Jamie Newstead coming in with facts, 100%, throwing us some strong arm up there as well. Hey, Tom, what's one health principle that you wish was taught in every business school today?
Interesting. I think for me personally, a huge one that I've seen with a lot of clients I've worked with is we aren't taught to run our own, what I call body operational testing. And it's something I talk about quite regularly. So you guys will have cars that you have serviced every year and boilers in your house that you'll have an engineer service every year. And the reason being is to make sure it's in good working order and that it's safe for use. Yet nobody runs their own labs every year. Very rarely.
Yes.
And the thing is, with this body operational testing, it's not about trying to find problems. It's about catching things before they become problems, or how to optimize your health so that you can start, instead of just feeling at 50 or 60%, which is what most people are walking around at, let's start aiming for 70, 80, 90% of our potential, because the better we feel. And the thing is with businesses, healthy staff, happy staff mean more productive staff, which means a better business, which means they're going to be showing up better at work, performing better. Everyone's a win-winner when everyone's health is made a priority. And I wish more businesses sort of use that as a perk.
Brother, I so agree with that. I was it last week, the week before, I was buying a Jeep, and I'm in this dealership, and the guy that's working with me, he's like, hey, they just brought lunch. You want something to eat? And I'm like, what is it? He goes, pizza. So the fucking dealership is basically providing lunch for all of their salespeople, all their staff, and it's fucking pizza. I'm thinking, okay, you're basically giving these people food that's not going to help them perform better. How does management not see this? And this is this was like a group that had like 25 dealerships, a massive group.
Johnny, I got to jump in here with you, brother.
That's a good one.
How many times do we go to conferences and the conference food is fucking carbohydrate after carb? Oh, let's look at the menu.
Terrible.
It's muffins.
Terrible.
It's fucking muffins. It's more muffins, and then it's more muffins, and then it's more muffins, and then it's some pastry, then it's some muffins and more pastry. And then
it's a fucking convention. And it's a convention for diabetes.
Yeah, and then they wonder why everybody's dragging their ass at 2:00 in the afternoon. Oh, let's have some more muffins. Let's have some more fucking donuts. Let's have some croissants. Like, hold on. Like, and just so you guys know too, like Mornings in the Lab is going to go on the road here. We're gonna take a show on the road. And if we're opening up a conference, you're not serving us any fucking muffins or pancakes or donuts. No, we want protein.
So what you want to have at the conference, Keith? Let them know what you're going to have at the conference.
Yeah.
I'm having Reese's peanut butter cups. No, I'm having I'm having eggs, damn it. I'm having eggs. I'm having fucking protein. I'm having steak. I'm having burgers. That's what I'm having. I'm not having donuts. I'm not
Even
having.
if it was a fucking handful of nuts, for Christ's sake.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I can't get over how many conferences I've been to, and you see everybody rush to the carbohydrate table, and Johnny, as the day goes by, everybody just crashes.
Yeah.
Just actually crashes. Hey, you're hanging out with Tom Hudson, Keith, John, and Marty here. Tom, I got some quick hitters for you, brother. Are you ready?
Yeah, do it.
Let's do it. Go-to comfort meal.
Go-to comfort meal. Oh, interesting. It's got to be my slow-cooked brisket. I actually got it in the slow cooker today.
Very nice.
Smell it. I can smell it coming
Very
across
nice,
the pond,
brother.
man. I like that.
It's got to be that.
Morning ritual you never skip.
Morning ritual, I get out of bed, usually, don't copy me on this, but I'm out of bed for 4 a.m. and I'm off to the gym. I train before work. It gives me clarity and focus for the rest of the day. And I start my day with something hard so that I know that once I've beat that, the rest of the day is mine to conquer.
I fucking love this guy, man. You're
You're
one of us. I love it.
Right there.
Yes. Fitness
Simple
myth.
concept that changes your life.
Yeah. Before the rest of the world wakes up in the UK, his dopamine is spiked. He's like, yeah, I got after it. I'm done. I've got it, man. You've got it. Tommy, fitness myth you want to erase forever.
Detox drinks and powders.
Oh, man.
Solve all your problems are my biggest bugbear on this earth. I hate it.
Oh, I love it. I think we have a guest host that's going to fill in whenever we need one here. He's drinking absolutely the same Kool-Aid. Most used emoji when texting clients.
When they have wins, it's the gun show. When they have wins, it's got to be the muscle, the flex when they have wins.
Personal mantra right now.
Personal mantra, yeah. You're your own greatest project you will ever work on.
Love it.
Fact.
Love it. And the last time you felt completely zen, what were you doing, Tom Hudson?
I was sat with. I just finished a load of research work for the IOH, and I was just with my dog, and I was just enjoying the outside green space, sunshine, and the peace and quiet. It was wonderful.
Love it. And finally, Tommy, if you had to name one overlooked factor that could completely shift someone's health trajectory, what would it be, and why are we not talking about it more? Tom Hudson.
The biggest thing that everyone misses is good sleep.
The
foundation of everything. The amount of people with sleep problems and issues that I speak to and I've heard of, your sleep routine starts with the first thing you do in the morning. Like that dictates your sleep routine, how you start your day. And people are now trying their hardest to avoid sleep by watching too many series, binge eating late at night, trying to stay on the phone scrolling.
Bullshit.
And it's a killer. It's a real killer for people's productivity and their health. But they don't realize it.
I think Tom Hudson's been drinking the John Anderson School of Kool-Aid there with some of the things he's dropping this morning, and the Marty Fit School of Kool-Aid. Tom Hudson joining us all the way from the UK. Tom, you've been dropping nuggets, man. I'm a big fan of everything you have to say. Tom, where can folks connect with you, find you, interact with you, engage with you, and work with you? Tom Hudson.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm on LinkedIn at Tom Hudson. You can find me on LinkedIn and search Zenith Health Coaching. It's the same on Instagram. It's at zenith.health.coaching. And then I've just recently started more of a blog series on my YouTube channel, which is Zenith Body. So you just search them and hit me up on there. It'd be great to have a chat. And obviously, thank you for having me on here, guys. You guys have been awesome. And this energy is fantastic. I know why people tune in now. So fantastic. Yeah.
Hey, dude, we're a morning show, but it's actually afternoon for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 1:45 in the afternoon here for us.
All right, excuse me for a second while I pitch you. So, Tom, I think we should start Mornings in the Lab in the UK, and you should host it because you're drinking the same Kool-Aid as us. So why don't we chat? We're going to chat later today. I'll set you up. We got the whole infrastructure done. You start the channel in the UK there. We'll start Mornings in the Lab with Tom Hudson, and we'll get after every single day. Got guests like Marty and Keith and Johnny and all that kind of bullshit. And you could even have a clown come on the show because we've got a clown hanging out waiting in the green room for us. So, it's all set and ready to go here. So, Tom, you game for that? I think you do it, eh?
Yeah, no, I'd always be up for it. I always love talking and chewing the fat with you guys. This has been awesome.
We got
sorry, mate. Sorry, go on.
We got Jamie Newstead joining in with some bad food. Yeah, Jamie's hanging out on the conference line waiting for some protein instead. He's looking for chicken. He's looking for facts. And we got Rufy coming in because we are brainwashed by the junk food industry, starting with sugar cereal as a kid. Oh, yeah. Plus, it's cheaper, so the venues love that. People are addicted to sugar. Yep, I hear you. All right, Tom, listen, brother, you have yourself an awesome day today. I believe we are on the calendar later today to connect, and I'm looking forward to that conversation as well. We're going to get after a lifestyle tip with John Anderson. And Marty, I'm curious, brother, it's Memorial Day weekend here. Are you hanging out with us, brother? Or do you got to stick away? You got to sneak away?
I'm here for today.
Yeah, baby. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Baby. Look out.
Is Jory coming today? Is Jory coming today?
No. Let's talk about Jory when we come back. Jory's got some stuff hanging on at work there.
So I wanted to talk to Jory, man.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the lifestyle tip. We'll come back and we'll get some other things to talk about. Johnny, let's get after it, pal. Hold on a second here, guys. I got to get my music all turned up here, Jimmy. And it's going to sound like that. All right, guys. Do it.
All right, here we go. So think of like this. If you could do one thing every day that would make you or allow you to have a better day, to be more productive, to be happier, to finish your day out thinking, man, that was a good day. I want to do it again. If there was one thing that could accomplish all that, would you do it? Well, I'm betting that you would, because I think if the doctor prescribed a pill for that, you would take it every day. Well, what if the doctor prescribed you doing something difficult? What's difficult? It's different for everybody. Difficult for some might be some sort of a treacherous workout. Difficult for somebody else might be putting on their shoes and going for a 5-minute walk. But when you overcome adversity or an obstacle, first thing, you're basically programming your mind to go and do more things that are going to be difficult, that have adversity, because your brain basically, when it overcomes that adversity, it likes it. It actually throws some dopamine in your bloodstream, which is the do it again drug. So you wake up and you do the dumb shit most people do. They go eat some poor that's not good for them. You know, they hit the snooze. Well, guess what? The brain is seeking more dumb shit like that. Versus you wake up and you say, you know what? I'm going to take the first step. I'm going to do some push-ups. I'm going to go for whatever your difficult is. You programmed your brain to go seek to do more stuff like that. And by the end of the day, God damn it, that was a good day. And the best part about it is you have 100% control of doing this every day. You've just got to get up and challenge yourself to do something difficult. You're difficult. Not your friend's difficult, not your wife's difficult, nobody else is difficult. What's difficult for you? Give it a go. Change your day, which will change your life. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. Change your day, change your life. Awesome advice from John Anderson this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. The lifestyle tip, 8:45 Eastern Time daily. LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And Marty asked a great question before we left on break there, which was, what about Jory? And guys, you know, I think I owe you all an apology because we haven't had Jory on the show for the last number of weeks, and I want to explain why. So Jory's been so Jory and I chatted a few weeks ago, and she's got a bunch of things going on at work. As we know, she's got a new boss, she has some new responsibilities, and she has some new things happening at work. And as a result, she's like, hey, Keith, with summer around the corner and with some of these new responsibilities, I need to take a break from the show. I was like 100%. So Jory's taking a break from our show. Nothing negative, nothing bad, just literally a life obligations, Johnny and Marty, where she was shuffling some stuff around and she's got her daughter growing up and a new job, new boss. I'm like, yeah, all good. So we'll have Jory back here. And, you know, we were obviously very grateful with her hanging out in the show here on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, but we're going to have Jory back here. But like I said, she's been busy doing some of her own stuff, and I miss her like I know you guys do as well. And I know deep down John and Marty do, but we'll have Jory back here very soon in the coming weeks on the show. Guys, Tom was awesome, man. Tom was dropping nuggets left and right. I thought Tom might have been listening to our show before because everything he was saying was like a lot of the same shit we talk about every single day on the show.
Yeah, man. Tom was a beast, man.
I agree.
He's a beast, man. We got to have him back. I definitely want to be part of the show.
Marty, how are you?
You've got a different sound going on. You got a different microphone or something.
I know.
Way different. It sounds like you're in a little, not that it's bad, but it sounds like you're in a little bit of a tunnel or something. I can hear you very clearly.
I thought it was morning voice. I thought Marty might have had morning voice.
Nah, man. I had some technical difficulties trying to switch the microphone. I had to switch back, and now it's been acting.
It almost sounds like you got like, you know, when the singer puts on some fucking like effect when they're singing, it almost sounds like you got one of those on there.
Yeah.
All right, let me check it out, man.
But it's not like it's impeding us from hearing. It's just different. That's all.
This is okay. Right. This is exactly it. So guys, so today's big topic of the day here was about I rebuilt my confidence after a major setback. And I wanted to take a couple of minutes about and share my journey. And then I'll throw it to you guys. We'll have a little discussion about this. But because and today's topic was more so for I think a lot of guys go through this, which is a setback. And then it's like, well, how do I get out of this setback? And I wanted to share my journey around a setback because it's happening in front of all of you guys. And I titled it this way: I rebuilt my confidence after a major setback, and here's how. Guys, let me take it back a little bit. I built a successful global business, a company I poured my heart and soul into. But as we know, life has a way of throwing unexpected curveballs. Suddenly, I found myself parting ways with the very company I had founded. I remember the phone call. Hey, Keith, yeah, we're going in that direction. Okay, yeah. We want you to go in that one. Oh, fuck. So just like that, my identity, guys, vanished overnight. Boom. Yeah, imposter syndrome, identity gone out the window. At 50, instead of feeling like I had reached my prime, I was completely lost, displaced. Who was I without my title, without my team, without the identity I'd worn for so long? This wasn't just a setback. It felt like a complete unraveling. Imposter syndrome hit me hard. I was questioning every move. Was my previous success just luck? Could I really build something meaningful again? Well, determined not to spiral, I did what I knew best. I went to work. That's what I did. I rolled up my sleeves and I went to work. I told my kids, I said, Dad's going to go back to work, contribute to society again. First, I launched a new company. I dove in head first, convinced this was my redemption story. And guys, it failed spectacularly. Talk about hitting rock bottom. But instead of letting it break me, what did I do? Johnny, Marty, I got up and went back to work again. Something incredible happened. I found clarity. And I realized that success isn't just about outcomes. It's about showing up consistently daily. And I knew it, but it was doing it again to remind myself. And that's when the idea struck me, a live show. I needed accountability, and what better way than to commit publicly to showing up every single day? So I created live and live.
Mark, real quick, I'd say, Mark, we can hear that typing. That microphone is so loud. If you're typing away, we can hear it on that one, brother.
Something's going on.
We'll get you to mute there, Marty. If we can, that'd be awesome, brother. We're getting a lot of feedback on you here, pal.
Okay.
Awesome. That'd be great. That's when the idea struck me, a live show. And I did it because I needed accountability. And what better way to do that than to commit publicly, to get in front of the camera and say, I'm going to do this every single day. So I created Live and Live with Keith Billis. That's where I met Marty. And that's where I met Johnny. A daily, energetic 1 hour live session filled with curiosity and filled with genuine connections. Yet something deeper kept nudging at me, an intuition, a calling. And I knew there was even greater opportunity, and it was a morning show called Mornings in the Lab with Keith. Mornings are magical. They hold a unique space of cultural connecting. People waking up together, starting fresh, united in the potential of a new day. Thus, this show was born. Now, this just wasn't about creating content. It was about reclaiming my identity, reshaping my narrative, and rebuilding my confidence through consistent, intentional action. Each morning, putting in the reps, engaging authentically, and genuinely connecting with people reminded me of something powerful. I was good at this, really good. And the more I showed up, the clearer that became. Today, that confidence I have isn't built on past achievements of yesterday, baby. No, it's built on daily discipline. It's built in these daily conversations and the courage to keep showing up every single day. So guys, if you're feeling lost or facing your own setback, I ask yourself this question. What's one thing that you can commit to daily? How can you show up consistently for yourself, for your family? Because guys, trust me, confidence does not come from flawless success. It doesn't come from perfection. It comes from embracing the journey and proving to yourself that no matter what happens, you have fucking got this. And guys, I just say this one last thing. I'm grateful for you guys that show up and hang out with me this morning, every morning, John and Marty, because rebuilding my confidence has happened in front of all of you guys every single day, and I'm grateful for that.
You know, brother, I was going to say, listening to you talk, one of the things that I think that, identity is it's a powerful thing, because what we will get what we identify with. What our identity is will get us, goal is checkpoints, right? But a lot of times, your identity can be kind of misunderstood. Like if I had an identity of being a pro strongman, right, then being a pro wrestler, and being a pro bodybuilder, these are identities that timeline has a start and a finish.
Yes.
Right? So, well, you got to look at who you are. What is your identity? It has to be you got to identify with the parts of you that allow you to do those things.
Yes.
So, like, one of the most basic pieces of my identity, and if someone asks me, this will be the first thing coming out of my mouth. You know, it's I do what other people won't do.
Yes.
I can apply that to whatever I'm doing in my life, and that's what I identify with. You know, that's why getting up and doing the shit that most people do and hard stuff. You know, it's like if people are doing what I'm doing, I'm fucking missing the mark, because that's not who I am.
I think, you know, Johnny, I appreciate those comments, because I think if there's one thing I've learned from my experience with the two of you, the three of us together, is exactly that. So as I have been kind of revisiting myself and rebuilding myself and, you know, identity and so forth, you know, you've changed identity a number of times: pro strongman, wrestler, bodybuilder, but the consistent you is the fact that you've always do something somebody else wouldn't do. And same thing with Marty.
Totally. And that's just so, and I'm sorry to interrupt, brother, but realistically, when I was making those transitions, I kind of understood what I just said, but not really. It wasn't until later that I realized, okay, who I am allows me to make these transitions. That's what allows me to be this chameleon. I'm not, you know, identifying just with this or just with that is shortchanging my identity. And I think that's, people have to get a little bit deeper into the roots of who they are. They're looking at the flower. Stop trying to create your identity on the flower or the fruit. What are the roots that created that fruit? That's who you are.
In many ways, that's the reason I reached out to Marty and said, would you like to join me on the show? Because I saw the work he was putting in. When Nicole and I started the show, I saw the stuff Marty was doing behind the scenes. He didn't know I was watching, but I just saw him putting the work in, right? And I didn't care what his identity was. I cared about his character, and he kept putting the work in. So like, hey, you want to hang out and do the show with me, right? And I've learned, I got to be honest with you, I've learned from both you that my identity is showing up daily. Accountability, habits, good decisions, or trying to make good decisions. But Johnny, I got to be honest, man, until I met you specifically, actually, and as I was building this business with Melissa, I didn't realize that I could build something around what I didn't know what my identity was, very similar to yours, was doing stuff that others didn't want to do or won't do. Like I reflect on my life. I reflect going to college and the things, and I don't know if I've done some of the same extreme things that, you know, you have done, but in terms of, I typically will, I am the black sheep out of a room of 100 white sheep. I just am. That's just who I am, always have been, and it's what I always am. But I'm comfortable with that. And I guess the point is that I've realized through this show, and I've realized from you, Anderson, that's what I am. My identity is not the ICUC guy. My identity is not this talk show guy. My identity is doing something others won't do. We've been doing this for a year now. I don't see a lot of people knocking on my door wanting to do a morning show, which is good because we're so far ahead of you motherfuckers.
Well, and let's all be honest too. I mean, every bit that we've had is, I'm just going to be like fucking a little bit hard edged. So anybody who's joined us for a segment, yes, I love you. Yeah. But you know, when you start something, right? Yeah. And then you don't keep the pace, you know, it's like, hey, you know, we're talking about, you know, you made a commitment for X amount of minutes. Yes. Right? Yes. And to me, you know, that's what I'm, if I back down from what I say I'm going to do, it really erodes me. Yes. You know? And then for me personally, and I don't judge people. I accept them. I just realize they're not like me, and that's okay. Yes. Yeah. 100%. And then you act accordingly, right?
Can I add this in too? So another thing, you're just taking it a step further. When you stop, say I'm going to do a morning show every day. I'm going to show up. You fall off. When you come back, the algorithm isn't even going to treat you the same. Yes. So you're not even going to get the same.
Well, you're so correct, brother. But the algorithm, what about the fucking people that can't count on you because you started this? You're no different than them. They're counting on you to be there. When you say you're going to do something and then you don't fucking do it, you're no different than them.
Yeah, so exactly. And the point I was going to make is just that it just hinders your growth. So, you know, once you start, you're kind of forced to keep showing up and keep being accountable for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, just showing up. Maybe it should be, hey, Keith, my life is tightening up. I can only give you 5 minutes. You can't keep me for 15 anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I get you. I absolutely get you. I get you. All right, guys. Morning to the Live with Keith and Friends, resetting hour 2. I rebuilt my confidence after a major setback. We had a big conversation about that. We had Tom Hudson joining us in the first hour. Keith and Johnny caught up on the weekend on how we achieved a few great things and so forth. Good lifestyle tip, good fit tip. And guys, are coming to the second hour. We got Paul Miller joining us here in a number of minutes. And of course, we got Warren Devarnis joining us at the bottom of the hour for the community corner, the community check-in. But I got a funny one here, guys, to kick off second hour here of the show here. And this one, Jimmy, is going to lead away from our friends, not our friends, Bonnie Blue and Lily Knight. John and Marty, here's one for us today. Could you imagine engaging intimately with nearly 600 partners in just 6 hours? Marty, Johnny, Annie Knight claims she's done exactly that. Today, we're going to dive into the details and debates surrounding her controversial record, asking the critical question, what the hell's going on in the world right now? Is this an empowering statement of sexual freedom, or does it dangerously continue to blur ethical health and ethical boundaries? Guys, just to have some fun conversation. Marty, hold on, Johnny. Annie Knight, an OnlyFans creator from Australia. First of all, why is it always Australia leading this? Engaged in sexual activities with 583 men over 6 hours on May 18th. 583 men, 6 hours, Johnny.
You guys are going to have to discuss Annie by yourselves in about 2 minutes because Tara and I have a reserve pickleball court that I've got to get to. Which I love. I love these goofy conversations. But I'll be totally honest. What I really love is our fucking conversations that are just uncovering fucking mental framework that helps people. So I'm actually quite happy. I was thinking to myself, man, I hope that when I have to go, it's not a conversation that I'm so fucking pissed I have to leave. So it's almost like the universe worked in my favor today. We talk about all these fucking nutty bitches that are humping everybody under the sun all the time. So I could leave this one and be totally
get out of here, Anderson. You go and play pickleball with your
See you tomorrow, John.
Hey, you know what? You got Mark. Mark's going to tell you he's going to carry the torch today. Let's go, Mark. Good
absolutely.
Shit.
Absolutely.
I'll carry the torch, man. That's what teammates are for, man.
Have a good fucking loop. I'll see you in the morning.
Have a good one, pal. Take care, Johnny. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here. Keith and Marty are keeping after it here. Marty, 600 guys in 6 hours.
I mean, it's just disgusting,
There's no other way to put it, is there?
There's no other way to put it. If you condone that, you're just a sick person, or you have no backbone. Because a lot of people will support something like that, but they don't really agree with it. But they just do it to avoid any pushback, to avoid any disagreements, right? So it's either one of those two things.
So when Knight set this contest up, I'm going to call it, Johnny, I'm Marty. She received over 2,000 registrations.
That's crazy.
Surpassing her expectations of 200.
So what is it? So we get on her, but what does that say about the men too?
Well,
I mean, both are just in the wrong.
The whole thing just makes me I just have so many questions. So I got a question for the guy that's number 530. I got a question for the guy that's number 4. I got a question for the guy that's number 2. I got a question for the guy that's 583. I got a question for the doctor that visits her after 583. I got a question for the team of 12 people, Marty, that work with her. 12 people.
Oh my God.
And then get this, and get this. So, and here's what I thought was quite interesting. Participants underwent registration checks, and listen to my keywords here, Marty. Identification verifications, and here's the key. And were even, quote unquote, encouraged to use condoms.
Wow.
Encouraged,
meaning you didn't have to. And there were definitely some nasty motherfuckers that didn't.
Not mandated, encouraged.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
So I walked into the swamp after the guy did not have his his life jacket on.
Yo, as a man, like how down bad do you have to be? You know,
I just
like you're not getting any on the regular.
I don't understand it, right? And then her comments at the end of it all was, and Annie Knight, if you're listening, which I know you're not, I got all these questions, right? She experienced significant physical distress, requiring hospitalization due to bleeding and pain.
Are you serious?
Yeah, true story.
Well, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but why?
That's crazy. Why are you even putting yourself in that situation? Oh, for clout, engagement, and she's getting paid off of it.
That's it.
Everything is okay now as long as you're getting paid.
Well, it's the world of OnlyFans that apparently Conor McGregor might be buying for $1 billion.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That motherfucker, he's always making moves.
He's going to be the king of OnlyFans, if that's the case. But hey, Marty, get this one. Have you ever heard of Horst Schultz?
It sounds like some Canadian shit.
He allegedly set a record, a world record.
Oh, it's a person. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Hey, Roofy, ears up on this one. Horst Schultz allegedly set a world record with an ejaculation reaching over 18 feet at 42 miles per hour. Today, we're going to uncover shocking truths behind male orgasms, separating myths from the fascinating science of human sexuality. Marty, I got to tell you, man, there's guys here, like there's an urban legend status here, despite widespread online circulation. Horst Schultz claims lacks scientific validation and official recognition from bodies like the Guinness Book of World Records. Typically, Marty, I bet you did not know this, and this might be the most awesome knowledge I've ever brought to this show. Like, I mean, talking ever, brother. I mean, ever, Jimmy. Typically, ejaculation velocities range from 10 to 28 miles per hour. With 42.7 miles per hour considered physiological improbable. Hold your comments. Hold your comments. Muscular mechanics. Ejaculation involves muscular contractions, primarily of the pelvic floor muscles, notably the bulbus spongius muscle. Average ejaculate volume is about 2 to 5 milliliters greater than can marginally influence distance, but exaggerated distances remain unverified. And Marty, the angle and the technique is very, very important to this. The angle and pelvic floor strength significantly affect distance, control, and velocity. And the reality is that there's a cultural fascination with this. Society's obsession with sexual extremes, hence the previous story, often fuel myths without rigorous scientific checks. So let's just think. We've kicked off second hour with a woman who slept with just under 600 men in 6 hours. Do the math on how many seconds that was. Yeah, exactly. And then the other guy who shoots his load in the air almost 15 feet. What the hell is the world coming to, brother?
We're just in crazy times, Keith. That's all.
Hey,
exactly. That's crazy.
We need stuff to talk about on the show, and clearly they give us stuff to talk about with conversation.
We're never going to not have stuff to talk about. We're always, if you did 3 shows a day, we're always going to still have stuff to talk about.
We got Roofy coming in with, dang, what the hell? Who the hell's measuring that shit? Yeah, exactly. And you'll shit your eye. Yeah, it does make you wonder who measures that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how do I measure that? How does that get measured, right? So,
well, I want to know that.
Before we bring in Paul Miller, I got one more thing here too. Marty, I found something. I have a little bit of fun with this, but also it's also serious too. But there are some prescription drugs that folks are taking that could be secretly altering personality or even causing serious physical changes. So apparently there are some shocking side effects linked to commonly prescribed drugs, including alarming behavioral changes and severe birth effects. There's some dopamine agonists like ropenolol who are effective for treating Parkinson's and restless leg syndrome, but Marty, can severely disrupt impulse control. Some of the side effects that doctors apparently do not talk to customers about, and patients about, I should say, include compulsive sexual urges, risky behaviors, and in extreme cases, illegal activities involving minors. So essentially, to back it up and frame it as this: you go into the doctor because something's going on. The doctor prescribes you a drug. Next thing you know, you have these side effects that are encouraging you to do these crazy compulsive sexual urges, behaviors that are not good, and some, in extreme cases, like illegal activities. And allegedly, doctors aren't sharing some of these concerns with patients. So the point of the story here is let's just make sure that we know what we're taking, we know what the side effects are, and maybe some of the behaviors that you're undertaking are not maybe fully fluid because of some of the medication you're on. Crazy shit, Marty.
So big pharma is contributing to mental health and a lot of things that
yes
are fucking up the society right now.
Yeah, so maybe big pharma is contributing to some of the OnlyFans activities that we're seeing with some of the crazy shit that people are doing.
Yo, I'm gonna say this, man. One thing I do I always check women's medicine cabinet, and women, you need to check the guy's medicine cabinet too. I'm just saying, when you go over there, check that medicine cabinet, see what's in there. If I see too much, or I see some shit, I got to get on Google and do some research. My eyebrows are up. So I'm not surprised at all.
Up. You gotta go. I never thought about that. You go to the bathroom, check the medicine cabinet, and you're either sticking around a little longer or you're leaving you're like, nah, I'm out of here. I
gotta go.
Duck Queen Duck, you're hanging out with Keith and Marty here on Morning to Lab with Keith and friends. Who prescribed those time wizard looking ass glasses? I did. And we got Matthew Roof coming in with you. Get healthy, eat right, and exercise. Get off the RX. Yeah, true story. That's exactly it.
Absolutely.
All right, well, listen, Marty, let's bring up number 2 here this morning. We got from Clown College to Community Catalyst, the wild world of Paul Miller. Jimmy, let's get this thing rolling here, brother. I'm getting up my notes. And what do you get when you mix a clown, Marty, a clown, a brewery, and a city in need of revival? You get this guy coming up, Paul Miller, a man who can juggle fire, rehab real estate, and reform juvenile justice, all before happy hour. Today's guest is Paul Miller, professional clown turned community developer. After traveling the globe under the big top, Paul brought the circus home, literally, to Lidlow, Kentucky. He owns a historic theater. He runs a circus, a themed brewery, and uses juggling not just as entertainment, but as a tool for rehab and urban transformation. Oh, and did we mention he recently published a book called Circus in a Sundown Town? Get ready to laugh, learn, and maybe rethink everything you thought you knew about clowning and conflict resolution. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is excited to bring in, finally, Paul Miller. What's up, Paul?
Hey. Good morning. Great. How you guys doing today?
How are you, pal? You've been patiently hanging out with us. How are you, brother? You good?
Make it happen. I'm good. Yeah, everything. Thank you. Thanks for this opportunity.
You joining us from Kentucky today?
Kentucky. You've had our chicken.
We have.
you drank our bourbon. And you've had our chicken. This is like some big Kentucky exports.
Oh, man. Paul, you bought the Duro Bag Company headquarters from the city you live in for $1.
Hey, it wasn't my idea. It was not my idea, but I'm going to execute it,
And you turned it into a creative circus campus.
That's the plan. I mean, the circuses, they're old. Circuses are older than the United States of America. Circuses are everywhere. And that's how I look at things.
You're on a morning circus right now, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. That's the whole idea of this thing, is to create a morning circus. Paul has a real estate company. It's called High Hope LLC, because if you're raising a big top, the ground better be solid. So, Tom, get us into the story about buying a business for $1 and turning it into a creative circus campus. Give us the view on that. Paul.
Well, I love the concept here. Rebuild my confidence. I got my butt kicked in Chicago. I built a circus up there, and there was some. I had some multimillionaires, a billionaire on our board of directors, and they tried to teach me a lesson. And it's one of these things where rich people can take things, but they can't create things. And that's really how I look at it. So, coming to Kentucky, we bought this old movie theater. I needed a building that was zoned entertainment. It had 20-foot ceilings, level floors, and 3-phase power, because to run some fancy lights and to run a brewery, you need like 3-phase power. So it's one of these kind of begin with the end in mind concepts, and it's fun because like every town has a little place called Ludlow, like across the river, rough part of town. And in that town, there's a movie theater that nobody really knows what to do with. And there's a bunch of little thug, little troublemakers. And I myself am one of those troublemakers. So it's a fun way to take a lot of things that don't work and push it together. So that's really the model I've been just, keep at it. So it's a great theme. Thank you for having me. I mean, that's the whole situation. My circus is called Circus Mojo. You get knocked down, you get back up. That's your mojo. So thanks for this chance.
I love, Paulie, you talk about all the little towns across, I'm going to say North America, because a lot of towns across North America have the dying movie theater or the drive-in theater on the outskirts of town. And man, the nostalgia laced in that, Paul? And you think about that. It's the nostalgia, the memories, and I applaud guys like yourself who are trying, and I'm seeing in many communities resurrecting these drive-ins, resurrecting these little theaters, and bringing new life to them. Talk about that a little bit, Tom. I'm sorry, Paul.
Well, again, I got my real estate license when I lived in Manhattan, so
there you go.
I had to spend $8,000 to rent an apartment. And, I was like, wow, I said, there's a lot of ways to pay tuition. So I sat for the New York real estate exam, and I learned about historical tax credits and EPA Superfund sites and like air rights, right of ways, stuff like that. So, it was fun. This movie theater, it took 7 years for me to get it on the historical registry, but that was like critical because the local people that run the town, they said when they shut me down, they said I was gonna have to put an elevator in the building. And I was like, you guys, if that's what you think, but if I get it on the historic registry, I don't need an elevator. And then they made me put a handicap accessible bathroom on the balcony. And it was just one of these like games to play, and they said, well, I said, that's silly because there's no way for an elevator. There's no elevator. There's no way for a wheelchair to get there. And the response was, well, there's a 6 to 9 month appeals process. And I decided to just say, hey, I'm going to put in the handicap bathroom, and it's going to be dedicated to emotionally handicapped zoning officials because, it's more fun for me to make fun of these people that are making a ridiculous situation, So if you're in an authority and you're going to make me do it, I'm fine, because here we are sharing on a circus, which really the circus is the first media company anyway. So we get to, they are right and I am right too. I put in the bathroom, and here I get to talk about their ridiculousness. You could call them a clown if you want to, but I drove the clown car with the greatest show on earth. So they're more amateur balloon twisting clowns, and I got to live on the circus train. So it's perspective.
Dude, what a great analogy. I never thought about it the way you presented it, but the circus was the first media company.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Going through communities and towns, a traveling circus, and then, putting out the playbills, around the town to get people to come, and the content of the circus. I never thought about it that way, but that's exactly what it was, man. It's brilliant. Paul, so Marty, get this one, man, because we know as you were going through college and as I was going through school, none of our parents wanted us to become what Paul decided to do, which was drop out of college to become a clown. And how did that decision shape everything after that? How did you go home and tell mom and dad that, I'm leaving college, we're going to become a clown?
Well, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy.
Mom and dad probably weren't happy either.
Well, I felt like it was a hustle. It was a degree in dramatic performance, but we would rehearse for 8 weeks, and then we did a show 4 times. And I told the dean, I'm like, look, this is like a degree in dramatic rehearsal. I was like, this is not dramatic performance. I'm going to go live on a circus train and do hundreds of shows with the circus and be a performer. And, you know, like, again, I didn't get in the first time. You know, a couple thousand people would apply for Ringling Brothers Clown College. And the first time I didn't get in, and that's fine. You know, I mean, you got to keep showing up. So then I got in, and, you know, you learn things. We had circus history every day at Clown College, you know, and it's fun because that's how I learned that, like, it is the first media company. You know, when the circus came to town on a wagon, the sheriff would come and take a nut off of the wagon wheel, and you had to stay in town until you earned your nut because you had to put the nut on the wheel to go to the next town. So, like, the circus, it is fun to, you know, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. That's why you go to the circus, is to see things that can't be done. Get in a cage with a tiger, get shot out of a cannon. Like, in normal people's space, they can't do it. But that is the whole hustle of the circus. You know, what can't you do?
It's fascinating to me.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, Paul, you're a man of vision. You know, so you're in a situation that you don't like, and then you just get this vision and act on it. Was there something that contributed to that? You know, you had the vision of changing the movie theater. You had the vision of getting dropping out of college and going to do your own thing. Was there something that created that vision for you?
Well, you know, I mean, I'm just a troublemaker, you know, and I think people act out for attention. And, you know, when I'm teaching a group of kids, you know, and that kid's I love picking that person, you know, because that's all they want. You know, they just want attention. You know, even the woman we're talking about earlier, you know, that has all the OnlyFans in the situation, like, she is acting out for attention. And look, you're talking about her, I'm talking about her, like, she's playing us, you know, like, that is effectiveness. And, you know, I mean, I love to subvert the authority when I'm teaching a group of fifth graders how to juggle. You know, it's the alphas, the kids that, you know, in dodgeball that win dodgeball. They're the ones to quit juggling first, you know. You know, like, the thing is, it's like juggling. It's just throwing and catching and throwing and catching. Well, the chubby kids who are always out in dodgeball, they get 2 throws and then 3 throws. And then they see the alphas quit. And then the chubby boys and girls, man, they double down and they start juggling. And it's cool because they see the person that got them out for years in gym class quit. So then they double down. And then I say, all right, put the juggling balls down for the next 5 minutes. Only ladies are allowed to juggle. And the boys are like, what the hell? And the girls usually are pretty disengaged after about 10 minutes. And then we say, you know, the first jugglers we know on earth were women in Africa. You know, 6,000 years ago, Black girls were juggling. And we know this because of the hieroglyphics. We know this because of the pyramids. And then the girls, they double down, like, you're telling me? And then it's fun because we can just keep, you know, knocking down the myth, you know, or influencing people to do something positive. And they don't believe it, but they don't have to believe it because, you know, they could look it up, whatever. But it's a fun way to have a circus opportunity, even to be here with you all and share these kind of concepts and ideas, because people won't believe it, but it's true. You know, like, this is not fake news. Like, these are facts, you know.
Paul, you might be muted on horizontal. Would you mind checking your audio for us there? You might be muted on the horizontal feed there. I'm getting some notes from my producer Jimmy here saying you might have a mute happening on horizontal.
Yeah, let me check. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You're hanging out with Keith, Marty, and Paul. Helen Miller here joining us from Kentucky. The clown turned real estate developer, business guy, and so forth, hanging out with us this morning here.
Is
Paul,
that better?
What's the weirdest challenge you've solved using the circus skills you've learned?
Well, I'm in the middle of a big challenge. I mean, I'm in a lawsuit right now with the city of Ludlow. You know, like, they sold me a building for $1, and it wasn't my idea.
Yeah.
And they gave me a 10-year deed restriction. Hey, you're now, you know, you can't, you know, for 10 years, for 10 years, I paid insurance on it, paid the power, put a roof on the thing, got rid of all the asbestos tiles, the mold, but, you know, they're not happy enough. So that's why, you know, it's fun. That's why I wrote my book. Because, you know, I had to turn over 5,000 pages of discovery through the lawsuit. And I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to write a book. You know, I mean, again, it's just fun because we'll give them the power that they want. And if I lose the building, so be it, but I didn't know what a sundown town was. But Marty, let's just say there's a lot of towns where black and brown people weren't allowed after sundown. And I had no idea. I'm from Cleveland, but the more I looked into Ludlow, I got this building on a historical registry, and they had like all these Confederates marching in the parade. I mean, Ludlow had Robert E. Lee marching in our parade in 2014. And I was in that parade. I was like, man, that is wrong. Like, we didn't have Ulysses S. Grant. We didn't have Uncle Sam. They had Robert E. Lee. So I get to play the clown and just bring that to the idea. And they don't like it. But they don't have to like it because of the clown. Since the dawn of time, the jester makes fun of the king. And that's the archetypal role of the clown. So that's kind of how I look at things. So, man, thank you for asking. I'm in the thick of it right now. But in civil court, anybody could sue anybody for anything. So let's bring it on as far as I'm concerned. Bring it on.
I love your attitude about it.
I love it, man. I llove it.
So do I. Yeah. And the fact that you chose to write a book about it, many would maybe roll over and metaphorically roll over and die. You're like, well, hold on a second here. No, I'm going to tell a story about it. And I got to think, you're not making many friends in the community. Are you not making perhaps a little more enemies about this whole thing? Or let's stay here, Paul. Like, I got to think people are loving the fact that, I'm going to write a book now about our whole experience.
But I doubled down. I mean, I'm making a TV show, and
I love this guy, man.
So and my friend, his name's Landau Eugene Murphy Jr.
Okay.
And he won America's Got Talent. He won season 6 of America's Got Talent.
Love it.
And he was homeless when he won AGT. And, he sounds just like Frank Sinatra. And when I watch the YouTube of, him coming out, it's brilliant. He plays the archetypal clown. He comes out, long dreads, chewing gum, and, teasing Howie Mandel. He's like, and he totally wins the situation. And then there's two British folks are commenting on him, for chewing gum, and he puts it in his pocket. And then he starts singing, and he sounds just like Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And then when he's done singing, you just see profound racism, like, I didn't think, and then he wins $1 million. And so he and I have been working on a television show, and we're turning this house in this church that the city sold to me for $1, and we're turning it into artist-owned housing. And on our reality show, nobody gets voted off the island. Like, they own the island. You can be naked, but you don't have to be afraid. Like, all reality television is based on exploitation, and the circus is also based on exploitation.
Yes.
So it's fun because it's going to stream around the world. And we're going to make some money, and we're going to make some impact. And there's 3 of my circus kids right now who are homeless. And, 2 of them have kids of their own. They're sleeping in their car. We're not supposed to talk about poverty. We're certainly not supposed to solve poverty. So it's fun because, clowns have sold billions of cheeseburgers. Like we are going to do some other things, like that's how I look at it.
Man.
Paul, I'm curious, so I'm going to ask somewhat of a heavy question. I'm curious about this. As you purchased the theater, as you've been doing your research, going through the lawsuit, discovering the history of the town, and obviously coming from the history of the circus and clowning and so forth, lean into, what you discovered about racism and how that was a part of the circus, and how, and you mentioned, comments earlier, the black and the brown folks weren't allowed in certain situations. Have you discovered in the journey of the theater and getting it for $1 and the history of it all, stories of racism that just, you look at it and you're like, holy fuck, man, that's just, you can't believe it.
I will say this. I've hosted artists from 50 different countries who all came to Ludlow, Kentucky, and none of them experienced any racism or any problems that they shared with me. So it's more the mentality, and people who are in charge of things that, they don't want new and different. But, I was a clown in Japan, so I got to go and work there through some like Ringling Brothers kind of mafia connections, because it's all nepotism. It's who you know. And when I was there, they called me Gai Jing, which translates to hairy Southern bastard. Okay. Like it's their N-word for white people. Okay.
Oh
And
my God.
and it was crazy is like they don't like us because we nuked them, you know. But this is like when I was there, it was 2000. It was before our preemptive wars, you know. And I was like, look, you all started it, you know. But it was funny because the Japanese, I was in rural Japan, and Gaijing, because these Portuguese, anyway, when the Europeans came, they had a lot of hair, you know, and the Japanese do not have a lot of hair. So that's their derogatory term. And for me, to get kicked out of restaurants or not to be served, or some people really, you know, and again, it was the most superficial racism, but I got to be for 6 months experiencing that. And, you know, in the circus on the Ringling Brothers train, the only people that speak English are the people that shovel the crap, the band, the management, and the clowns. Everybody else is from Uzbekistan and China and Spain and Brazil. And, you know, so it's just a weird dynamic because the people who really make the circus, they don't speak English and they don't want anything to do with us because we're considered gajo, which is like a gypsy word for the outsider. So, you know, it's just a weird, I've been really fortunate to spend most of my life now in the circus, which is a parallel universe to every other system that exists.
That's crazy. Paul,
can I add something real quick, Keith?
Yeah.
Well, one thing that fascinates me is how like you have these low vibrational thinkers all around the world. So racism is not just in the United States. They got racism all the way on the other side of the world too. That amazes me. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. It's insane. And then just to piggyback off of what you were talking about earlier, Paul, you're the epitome of play the game or get played. Right? Yeah. So they doing all this silly shit to you. You're like, oh, okay, let's play. Let's bring it on. Let's go. It's like that. It's like that competitor. You know, I love it. That shit just fired me up for the week. So I'm glad you shared your story. I just wanted to tell
Marty,
you
know, it's neat. Like I got to go. I was in Cape Town, South Africa 2 months ago, and you know, I got to go to Robben Island where Nelson Mandela spent 27 years. And the guy who gave us the tour there, he spent 15 years there locked up. And here this guy's making a living wage. He was in prison there for 15 years. And I really look at South Africa as like a place where they're the worldwide leaders in transitional economies. You know, the world's changing and they mastered change. And, you know, Landau, Eugene Murphy Jr. and I, we're putting together a tour. And like he, for me, like is the best things about the United States of America. Black guy, sounds like Frank Sinatra, won $1 million on America's Got Talent, and was homeless. Used to like wash cars for a living. Like that is the new Uncle Sam, as far as I'm concerned. You know, like that. These are like the best things about the United States of America. So we're gonna take this all around the world and sing some songs. And the more problems they throw at us, that's Charlie Chaplin, that's Buster Keaton, that's Bart Simpson. Like the clown gets in trouble. What's funny is watching the clown get out of trouble. So, you know, thank you for this platform. And, you know, it's fun because it really is a opportunity to just make a circus, you know?
I love it, man.
We got Rufus showing up saying clowns are my primal fear. And I know a lot of people that are scared of clowns, but I will say that there was one clown I grew up watching on in Living Color. Homie, don't play that, which was our good old friend Marlon Wayans there, which was some great content back in the 90s. I think it would have been there, Paul Miller. But Paul, some rapid fire for you, brother. Hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty here. Keith, John, Marty. John's gone. Keith, Marty, and Paul Miller. Mornings Alive with Keith and friends, producer Jimmy. Some rapid fire questions for Paul Miller. Most underrated circus skill, brother.
I'm a fan of the tight wire. It's not easy, but, you know, get up on that wire. You just got to keep moving. You cannot stop. You have to keep moving.
I did not think you'd choose the high wire. I saw the question. I'm thinking, he's not choosing the fuck. You chose the high wire.
All right.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that one.
All right. Just rapid fire. You know, just
I
boom,
love it, man. Favorite Burkus beer on tap?
Oh, our pie fighter. That's our Pilsner. You know, I say it's a pie fight. That's the byline in my book is pie fighting, sweet and dirty community development. You got to give a pie and take a pie. So our Pilsner is the pie fighter.
Clown name you almost went with but didn't.
You know, like with Ringling, it was just like Paul Miller. You know, I just added why Paulie the Clown. But man, there's a lot of weird Bible clowns out there. You know, like I've had to watch quite a few loaves and fishes magic tricks. But you know, like I said, it was a free steak at Ponderosa. So you know, like there's a lot of subcultures of clowns. So I'm just Paulie the Clown. I'll leave it at that.
Dream location to set up the next Circus Mojo campus.
Let's see. We're going to Kibera. It's the biggest slum in Africa. It's right outside Nairobi. I helped start a circus there many years ago. We're going to add a little brewery there, and we're going worldwide. We're going global.
Watch out. Love it. Love it. Most surprising song on your playlist?
Midnight Train to Georgia. You know, a superstar.
Well, there you go, brother. There you
Gladys
go.
Knight, little Gladys Knight and the Pimps.
And finally, Paul Hallinan Miller, Paulie the Clown. What's the weirdest thing you're actually proud of that no one else seems to understand?
Wow. I have no idea. I got such a big mouth and a pretty giant ego.
Can you walk on the tight wire naked?
If I had to, yeah. You know, again, there's opportunities. You know, what does it solve? That's who I'd look at it. Where's the audience? Do I got it stripped down and do it? It all depends. You know, it's risk and reward. You know,
I just think that if you fell in that moment and the wire went up, it would maybe hurt a little bit along the way.
This guy.
Well, here's the thing about walking the tight wire. You learn how to fall, okay? Like none of us were born walking. It took us a whole damn year to figure out how to walk. And that's part of my TED Talk. You know, like we're just not walking. We're not born walking. And you learn how to fall over and over and over and over again.
Oh, I love it. Paul Hallinan Miller, today's guest, professional clown turned community developer. After traveling the globe under the big top, Paul brought the circus home literally to Ludlow, Kentucky. He spent the last 20 minutes with us here on the show having some fun and laughter. Paul, where can Business Athlete Mornings Nation connect with you, find you, work with you, and get more from you, brother?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, Paul Hallinan Miller, Birkus Beer on Instagram, Circus Mojo on Instagram. Same things. You can find me on Facebook and piefighter.dev development. So that's my new website. That's where you can learn about our TV show and get the book. Our book's on audio. You can get a workbook too, 1,800 pages of. And it's like a reverse anarchist cookbook. Like if you need to buy a historical building, it's kind of how to and how not to guide. So it's all there, guys. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
And Paul, before you go, brother, how can folks find your book?
It's on Amazon. Circus in the Sundown Town. And piefighter.dev. That's where you can buy all the workbooks too. So it's on Audible and it's fresh out. So we'll be taking it on the road. Coming soon to a bookstore near you.
I love it. I love it. Paul, thanks for hanging out on the show, brother.
Thank you so much.
A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. A lot of great conversation.
Appreciate you, Paul.
Appreciate you. Thanks,
all right.
y'all.
Paul's going to get out of here, Jimmy. Paul, look forward to connecting you later today. And had a lot of fun there with Paul Miller. Good morning, Brophy. I see you there in the comments. Always appreciate our friend Jason Brophy joining us here on Mornings in Lab with Keith and friends. Marty, that guy was a beast, man.
Man, hell of a story.
I love it.
Yeah. That's getting knocked down and getting the fuck back up.
That's exactly what that is.
I love those stories, man.
Yes. All right, we got Warren Dvornis. Marty, we shined the light on Warren here a couple weeks back in our community corner, our creator spotlight, and we got him here joining on the show here today. And Warren is, I was looking for my notes here. Warren is joining us all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a believer. He's a girl dad by 3, co-founder of Dad God, senior AE or clear coach, transformation coach, slow motion to no motion. Jimmy, without further ado, let's bring him up here, the man of the next moment here in the community corner segment. We got Warren Dvornis joining us on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. What's going on, Warren?
Yes, how are you? Good morning.
How are you, man? How you doing?
I'm well. Thanks for having me on.
I see you got a couple sleeves there poking out of your arm. Look at you go, brother. Look at you go. Yeah, I see that. Nicely done. Wow.
Not enough, man. Always could use more.
Yeah? When did you start that journey?
Probably 5 or 6 years ago. Yeah. I banged out the sleeves and plans to go back and do the legs and really do the whole body, but it's an expensive hobby. So
Very
Yes.
expensive.
yeah,
Very. Yeah.
time consuming and a
I
lot of pain too. So
it's a lot of pain.
yeah, man.
It takes time too. It's like, dang, I could be a little more productive with my time, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, and now I have 3 daughters, so that's also, when I started the journey, no children, so that was also a lot more, pocket change carrying around. But yeah, so plans to get more, and they all tell a pretty cool story too. So love chatting about them.
That's awesome. Marty, we celebrated Warren a couple weeks back on the Community Corner. As you know, Marty, we have the wonderful Creator Spotlight segment. And what drew me to Warren, Marty, you're going to love this, brother. What drew me to Warren, Jesus Christ is his foundation, everything he builds. He's a dad of 3 daughters, and he's building something called Dad Good. A movement for dads who want to lead well, grow strong, and show up daily. Warren, talk to myself and Marty and our audience right now about Dad Good and what moved you in that direction to create it, and what does it mean to you to be Dad Good?
Yeah, so Dad Good started, I connected with one of the co-founders, there's now one of the co-founders on LinkedIn, and we chatted and we kind of came up roughly with the idea. We didn't have the name or anything, but we thought about how cool would it be to, have a dad community. Nothing revolutionary there. There's obviously thousands of dad groups and communities all over the place, but we really just wanted it to be very real, very raw, a place where dads could come and, really kind of share the hard stuff, to share the struggles, the wins, really just create a place for other dads to be able to connect with dads in the same season, going through the same kinds of things. And so I created a Slack channel and we did a logo, and the rest is history. When we launched it, I got to be honest with you guys, I thought maybe like 20 dads would join, and we're almost to 1,000 now. And it's been a couple of months. So, when I talk to dads in the community, that's one of the most fulfilling parts for me. Most of them, tell me that it's a much needed space. I think the traditional kind of view of fatherhood was kind of like, do it yourself, suck it up. Don't talk about your feelings kind of thing. But at Dad Good, we want it to be more like you don't have to do this alone. There's other dads going through similar things. And when we all get together and we're able to support each other, I think it makes just for better fathers, for better families. So that's a little bit about what we do.
Warren, why do you think 1,000 guys showed up?
That's a great question, man. I'm still surprised myself. I think the message resonates pretty well. One of our pillars that we have is we always try to focus on creating great content. And I think when dads see that who aren't in the community yet, it really resonates with them. And then we get messages, and it's usually like, hey, I really want to get in the Slack group because I want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Almost
like I need to be a part of this. I need to start, interacting and get that camaraderie. And so I think that's the stuff that we're putting out. Dads are seeing that and they're like, I need this right now. So
I'm curious about this next question.
Yep.
3 daughters.
Yeah.
What is life like with, how old are your daughters? What's life like with 3 daughters? And then I got to ask the obvious question: as life gets older, are you moving out every 28 days amongst the 3 daughters, or what's that? What's it like having 3 daughters?
3 daughters. Yes. It's, my daughters are 4, 2, and 1.
Oh,
so
goodness.
there's never a dull moment. There are a lot of Disney princess dresses involved, a lot of girly girl stuff. And then my wife has 2 sisters also who live close by, the auntie. So I'm really surrounded by women, but I mean, it's a beautiful thing. They're all amazing women. I love my girls to death, but I won't lie to you guys. I hope on the next one, we pray for a son just to get some of that balance. I never trade my girls for the world, but being a a man and a dad, you want to be able to experience both. But I will say, as long as they're healthy and happy, that's that's all that matters at the end of the day.
So, brother, are you breaking news with me and Marty right now? Are you guys shooting for number 4? Is that what's around the corner here, or what?
Well, around the corner, yeah. We probably my wife is the boss in in that area, so probably more in the fall, the late summer, fall time. But yeah, we usually try to, those kind of things you can't really plan to a T or anything, but we always try to put like a rough kind of thing on there. So the next year in 2026, expect me to be, my headline will be either girl dad times 4 or girl dad times 3 and boy dad.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't expect you heard the top of the second hour here, but we had a story where almost 15 feet men are able to shoot their load, Warren. So
I'm science, man. I'm not surprised at all.
In other words, our wife could stand across the room 15 feet away, and then maybe in theory they could get pregnant. Just thinking out loud here with you guys.
Maybe.
But Warren, I want to go into something serious, within the humor here, because I think this is worth talking about. You have 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I suspect you want nothing but to empower them and see them grow into the greatest human beings and leaders and so forth. Talk about the idea of being a dad to daughters compared to men who were dad to boys and can't see the can't see the difference, but there's an element of society where there's this boys are boys, girls are girls, and some men, are struggle with seeing women being leaders. Some men struggle with women being presidents. You know where I'm going at with this, and some of it is linked to politics.
Right.
Yet at the end of the day, you're a man of 3 daughters, and I gotta think, brother, you have changed as a human being, as every 100%. Little girl has come out, because the softness, the vulnerability, the different attributes that come to you because of your daughters have changed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm struggling with this, but there's guys in your world that are just dads to boys, and your dads to daughters, and your political views have changed. I guarantee they have.
Yeah, I think so. I will say I can't speak for the son yet, but I do believe if it was all sons, I wouldn't have changed as much as a person. But because it's girls, because it's daughters, I just simply, even growing up, it was me. I had one brother, and then, I had my dad and my mom. So my mom was probably looking at all of us like, I'm surrounded by guys all the time, So when I have my girls, each one, yes, Keith, I would agree. A lot changes in me, and you have to learn a lot of stuff. You have to learn a lot of stuff, whether it's a boy or a girl, but being a dad and then having only girls so far, there's a lot of things that I'm learning on the daily. And my wife, helps take me to school also, and teaches me a lot about all of those things too. But it's even really cool to see my parents interact with him, because like I said, my dad had me and my brother, so he never had girls of his own. It's really cool to see my mom interact with him, because she also never got to have daughters of her own. But I changed so much, and honestly, my oldest, my 4-year-old, well, they all teach me stuff every day. I go to bed at night, or I'm sitting there at night by myself after they go to bed, and I'm like, there's little moments throughout the day where you're like, wow, they actually teach you a lot of stuff every single day too, while you're trying to, teach them and guide them all the things that So.
Well, it would be hard for your point of views not to change along the way when you see, society judging women on certain things,
right?
And where you may have had a point of view on that until you had a little girl, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I don't like how that guy's looking at girls, and that now I have a girl. Now you reflect on those things, right? Because I know I've got 2 daughters, and I think about them all the time now. Things that I didn't think about before.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, once they arrive, you're never, you never know love quite like that. And also, Keith, I agree 100%. A lot of things that you maybe, your point of views on a lot of things once they arrive, start to evolve and change over time.
I'm going to think your daughters have given you nothing but the confidence, and maybe your folks did as well, but I'm going to make some assumptions here. Your daughters have given you a lot of confidence to be a vulnerable man.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm even my wife too. I mean, there's I've always been kind of like that too. The emotions when they come,
Yes.
and I don't usually steer away from them because I've learned that I'm the kind of person, if I do try to steer away, you bottle them up, and it's kind of like it doesn't end well for anyone. So you just try to get it out there when they come. And I think that's something, going back to Dad Good, we want to promote men being able to, be able to be open and come to the community with whatever they have so that we can try to support them.
That's awesome. Marty, any questions for Warren before we move to the community corner here?
I don't have any kids yet. So if you have, any tips or anything for me to look out for, go ahead and share with your boy, man.
Yeah, man, I got you. And hey, once you do, we'll get you in Dad Good, because that's the cool thing too, is it's just really neat. Like, we even actually we let dads in who are dads to be. So once the dad and his wife or girlfriend, whatever, like once they're expecting, we get them in so that they can start mingling with other dads. And what's cool is we have dads like my dad's age who have kids who are grown adults in Dad Good. So you get all these different life stages in there, and everyone has something different to offer. And being a new dad or a dad to be, you could be like, man, what should I expect for XYZ? And there's hundreds of dads in there who could just be like, hey, like, this is what happened with me, and they share their stories. And it's just such a cool, it's just a cool thing. And a lot of the older dads that I talk to, some of them have even told me, I wish I had something like this when I was a dad, kind of coming up, raising my kids and stuff. So that's always cool for me to hear, because we just took an idea that we didn't even think would really work that well, and now it's turning into something special. So
you're hanging out with Keith and Marty on Mornings Alive with Keith and Friends with our guest Warren DeVernus here on the Community Corner. We celebrated Warren a couple weeks back in the Creator Spotlight, and now we're gonna take the light, hand it over to Warren, so we can shine it on somebody in his world. And guys, you can't lead with presence if you're stuck on autopilot. True story. Too many high performers are grinding through life, wondering why they feel distant from the things that matter most, disconnected from their kids, disengaged from their partners, distracted in their leadership. We get Matthew Ruth joining us here today saying, hey, having a daughter made me a better partner to my wife. He also comes back and says empathy and perspective on cultural sexism and even as nitty gritty as periods and feminine health. I can now buy tampons. Rufy joining in the conversation here this morning as we're continuing on our Creator Spotlight. And too many high performers get distracted in their leadership, and they assume it's normal, that this is just how life is now. But what if clarity wasn't just possible? What if it was the game changer? There's one creator that we're going to celebrate in a couple moments who's flipping the narrative. He's not preaching hustle. He's not pushing performative content. He's showing what it looks like to build with presence at home, on LinkedIn, and everywhere in between. He's the guy who helps top-tier operators show up differently, less noise, more intention, and it's not just theory. He's the co-founder of Dad Good. Oh, baby, a rising movement helping fathers feel seen and supported from late-night newborn chaos to teenage send-offs. He's also the mind behind Presence Co., where founders and execs learn how to lead with clarity, online without the fluff, without losing who they are. Let's give it up, Jimmy, for Charles Thompson, brand builder, coach, and the dad who made rucking before it was cool a family ritual. Guys, if you're building something that matters, this is the guy you want to follow, because Charles isn't just building a brand. No, baby. He's modeling a way of life rooted in real presence, real leadership, and real legacy. My brother Warren, you nominated Charles. Tell us why we are celebrating him today.
Man, Charles is
awesome.
Charles is one of a kind, man. And again, gotta love LinkedIn. How a lot of us all get connected. But I
Yeah.
connected with Charles on LinkedIn when I really started, posting and on my journey towards the beginning of this year. And I noticed his profile and I saw his family and I saw his posts and I immediately was just like, I got to know this guy. So
Seriously?
I sent him the request and I wrote him a message. And next thing I know, we got on a meeting, learned about each other, and
Yeah.
one thing led to another. And now we're doing a bunch of, cool stuff together. And our other, co-founder too, Guy, he's also co-founder and Dad Good. But yeah, I mean, Charles, you can just look at his feed right there, and how can you not help but just basically be like, I need to know this guy immediately. So,
I could see it's
yeah.
very clear. It's very clear. Yeah. Charles, my brother, Warren celebrated you here today, and here's how it works. We'd love to have you now on the show. We gave Warren the light a couple weeks back. Warren's effectively handing you now the light on the creator spotlight on the community corner. As a result, there's a seat available for you, my friend. Come on to the show. We're going to pass you over the light just like Warren did so that you can pay it forward and shine the light on somebody in your orbit as part of your community in the future segment of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends and Warren and Marty and Johnny and the gang. Warren, what a great celebration, man. I haven't seen Charles. Well, I saw, because you dropped it over to Charles stuff. I haven't looked at it very closely, but solid dude, clearly.
Yeah. And I mean, he makes me a better dude. So right away, you're just like, you love those people because they push you to be better. And, it's a good balance when we chat. There's certain things probably about myself where, he might bring me back down, and then, I can do the same for him on, you guys know what I'm saying, but it's just it just works very well. And, the power of LinkedIn, I would have never even known him if it wasn't for LinkedIn. So that I'm grateful for that. But yeah, Charles is just an outstanding dad and all around guy. I'm grateful to know him. So
Warren, I'm grateful that I've met you, and I'm grateful you spent some time on the show with us today. Where can folks find you? I know you work at Clerico. We didn't spend any time talking about work today. We're talking about you and the girls and all the good stuff, brother. Where can folks find you, connect with you, and get more from Warren?
Yeah, so LinkedIn is going to be the main channel. I do have an Instagram. Working on that, but come to find out, that's a different beast altogether. Trying to grow a presence and an audience there. But anyways, LinkedIn would probably be the main channel. And unless you know another Warren Deverans, please let me know. But if you search my name, that should be the only one. It's not like a John Smith or anything where you got to rifle through a bunch of them. It should only be one. But like I said, if you do find another one with the exact name, let me know, because I'd love to meet him. So
awesome. Marty.
Yeah, man.
Hey man, you shared some great stuff with us. And I'm gonna take you up on that offer when the day comes, man. I'm gonna join Dad Good when that day comes, or when I'm, expecting. So
yeah,
I'll
man.
keep that in mind. Yeah, man. And I connected with you on LinkedIn too. So
I was gonna say good. Yeah, I was gonna say connect with me so we can chat even before then. And I see you got some tattoos as well. So it looks like you might be working out a little bit. So I'm a big fitness guy too. So yeah, man, would love to chop it up sometime with you.
You guys strike me as people that would be friends. Like, you guys actually strike me as like guys that would probably hang out. Warren, how old are you, Warren? 30?
Believe it or not, I'm 37.
Holy fuck, man. Look at you, man. You're looking good, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
So really, really quick, I know we got another thing, having young kids, especially girls, I've always been very active growing up and everything, but it motivates you, at least motivates me to stay in crazy good shape. I'm doing like a 75 hard challenge right now. So
no. Because on day 76, you're all going to shit. No, just tell Keith and Marty that you live a life of consistency and regularity. Don't do that shit, man. Don't teach your daughters.
They don't like that here. They don't like
that. I was going to say, though, it motivates you to, because I'm also competitive. So I hope one day when they're older, and this is where having, when they're older, if they challenge me to anything, I hope, Pops can still walk up to the field and be like, I'll still take you on. So anyways, very, very into the fitness and love talking about that kind of stuff. But no, Keith, you make a good point. And my wife said the other day, she's like, there's probably a lot of people out there who a 75 hard is just how they live every day. And I was like, well, yeah, babe, of course. Like it's hard for a lot of people. It's very challenging, but there's those people out there, they just have baked it into their lifestyle that they work out twice a day. They eat, healthy. They read 10 pages.
That's right.
And I told her, I was like, there's plenty of people who look at somebody doing a 75 hard like me, and they're like, that's how I live every day. I'm not there yet, but I am happy with my performance. So far, and for the most part, even beyond the 75, I'm a pretty healthy person, and I'm out there getting it all the time. So
you know how we lead with love, Warren? Well, we tease with love as well here. So that's how we get after it. Warren, I've thoroughly enjoyed the time on the show with you. I feel like we could hang out all day, man. I love the energy you bring. I love what you're dropping, and I love the mission and your purpose, man. I really, really do. You come back, hang out with us again sometime, okay?
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. All right, Jimmy, we're going to walk Warren out of here.
Yeah.
Beautiful. There we go. Solid dude, man. Just solid.
Oh, yeah. 3 great guests today, man.
3 solid guests here today. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, for my first full show back, that's how you do it, man.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, don't have me here for no BS. No, I'm playing.
I do have one final segment in the community corner. You're welcome to stick around with it. We got a few things we're going to celebrate. If not, you can rock and roll out of here. Your call, my brother.
Yeah, I'm a rock and roll, man. I do got a packed day, so
you get after it. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with me today.
Of course, man. Of course. It felt good to be back.
We'll see you tomorrow, brother. Morning's the lab. Keith and friends. Marty's out of here. We'll see you back tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Get after it, brother.
Yep.
All right. Jimmy, Marty's out of here. You know what happens with you and I now. This is what happens. Oh, yeah. There's the sound effects. Running a few minutes behind, Jimmy. Just a couple of minutes. I could tell the time. Mr. Jimothy, I could tell the time. All right. Welcome to Community Corner, the second stage where we connect Setback. Yeah, Setback. Where we connect Substack and LinkedIn. This is the part of the show where we spotlight the thinkers, the doers, and the stirrers of good trouble. These are the conversation starters, gut checks, and wake-up calls. Let's dig in and get right after it. All right, first one up, LinkedIn. Boom, boom. She beat chronic pain with grit. What's your excuse? First up, we got Katie Poon. She's out there talking about intentional suffering like it's a superpower. Chronic pain took her down in 2020, Jimmy. But she bounced back. Not with magic, but with years of cold showers, CrossFit, and biking in 40-degree heat. Sounds like hell? Oh, maybe. But to Katie, that pain was practice, and it's exactly what helped her claw her way back to health. She calls it building grit on purpose. How about you, nation? Are you training your mind and body for life's real battles? Or are you just hoping they never come? Let us know in the comments what the hardest thing is that you've done on purpose lately. Go check out Katie Poon. She's getting it after every single day here on LinkedIn. All right, Jimmy, number 2. She said just water. Yeah, the room lost its mind. Soraya Zadane's out here committing social suicide. At least that's how it felt when she'd ordered water at a party. People looked at her like there's something wrong with her. Why? Because she didn't want to drink. She called out the weird culture where not drinking is treated like a sin. But get this, she's not judging. She's just making a point. Sometimes we're more uncomfortable around discipline and healthier choices than we are around dysfunction. You ever been the only one saying no when everyone else is diving in? What was your reaction? Yeah, I want to hear from you. Drop the comments. All right, number 3, Jimmy, on LinkedIn, when someone says work-life balance, but punish you for living. Rasika Sarantine is calling BS. Try my best, Rasika, to say her last name properly. Is calling BS on workplace wellness. He's a corporate exec who noticed a nasty little contradiction. Companies preach balance, then reward burnout. Show up tired, answer emails at midnight. You're a star. You set a boundary, suddenly you're not a team player. While Rasik is saying enough's enough. Respect your workers when they're unplugged. Stop giving gold stars to self-neglect. Have you ever been praised for burning out? And for the leaders watching, guys, girls, how are you treating the people who say not right now? Are you giving them more to do? All right, number 2, we're going to head over to Substack, Jimmy. The truth about happiness is way messier than we thought. Jackson Kirchhoff dropped findings from the biggest happiness study ever. 300,000 people, 22 countries, 5 years of data. It turns out happiness isn't just about how you feel, it's about how you live. The study found 6 domains: health, happiness, meaning, character, relationships, and financial security. You miss one and it throws the whole thing off. Oh, young people, on average, less happier than older folks, Jimmy. Not because they're doomed, because they're disconnected. Disconnected from meaning, from others, from purpose. What's your story, nation? What's your opinion, nation? Why do you think younger folks are missing out on meaning and connection? Next up on Substack, this one question can change how you show up as a dad. Flat Earth is just a matter of perspective, Wichita Willie. I see you there. Will Schmidt asks a question that every dad needs to sit with. If your kid read this chapter of your life, what would they learn about how to live? Most of us are so locked into survival mode that we forget we're setting the tone every day. Whether we mean to or not, they're watching how we work. They're watching how we argue. They're watching how we rest. They're watching what we chase and what we ignore. This isn't about being perfect, boys. It's about being present, about modeling something worth copying. So what lesson are you teaching right now without saying a word? And more importantly, is it one you'd want your kids to carry? Ask yourself as you go through your day. And up next in Substack, your habits aren't broken, your identity is out of sync. Alain Hager comes in hot, and he's not wrong. You can meditate at 5 a.m., read the books, read 5 books a week, nail every habit tracker out there, but if you don't know who the hell you are, none of it sticks. Alain's take: morning routines and habits are hollow when identity is unaligned. If you're just copying someone else's routine, but you haven't figured out your own why, you're going to stay stuck. Maybe even disciplined and stuck. Huh. Yeah. Which is its own special hell. So guys, I invite you to pause, reflect. Who are you becoming? And do your habits actually match that? All right. These stories are great reminders to pay attention, show up, and live on purpose. And hey, if you have something important to say, we want to focus about it. We want to learn about it. Follow Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. Tag us. And maybe we'll feature you on an upcoming segment of Community Corner on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. What if the most important health breakthroughs aren't happening in hospitals? What if they're happening in inboxes? Every week, a new idea drops that changes how we think about brain health, biotech, or the future of medicine. Yeah, true story there. It's real science broken down so clearly you've actually wanting to read it. And it's all coming from one of the most plugged in minds in health innovation today. Nation, I invite you to meet Nicholas Hubacks. He's the founder of Scientific Horizons on Substack, a go-to resource for anyone exploring neuromodulation, neurotech, and the future of healthcare. If you care about longevity, brain health, and breakthrough treatments, Nicholas is your inside source. He curates expert takes, translates complex science into human language, and brings sharp analysis on what's real, what's next, and what actually matters. Nicholas is here to elevate the conversation around health and science because, frankly, the future depends on it. And Nicholas, here's how it works, brother. We're celebrating you here today, so we'd love to have you on the show and celebrate somebody in your orbit. We'd love to have you here to give you the creator spotlight so you can take it, crank it up, and shine somebody on the next Creator Spotlight Community Corner on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Go follow him out, Nicholas Hubacks, over on Substack. All right, Jimmy. We wrapped it up again. Just a few minutes overtime, but we figured it out. True story. Okay. Well, Jim, I guess we're going to get out of here back tomorrow. I'm one of my monitors just died Jimmy on the screen here. So yeah, I can't even see what's going on in front of me, but that's okay. We made it. We figured it out. We're back at it 8:00 Eastern time tomorrow. And I'm doing a quick little check here. Tomorrow we are talking about Jimmy. We are talking tomorrow, guys, about how saying yes can lead to a more fulfilled life. We taught you a couple weeks ago to say no. We're talking about saying yes and the power of yes. So to get out of here, on behalf of Jimmy, Marty, Johnny, Paul, Warren, Tom, and the whole gang, Roofy, Lady Drew, Good Time, Holroyd, Brophy, all of you guys. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up. We'll see you tomorrow, 8:00 Eastern time, right here on YouTube, over there on LinkedIn, over there on X, and over there on Substack. 8:00, the only morning show for men. We're getting after it. Jimmy, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.